example of materials used in this thing.
It advanced at 7 years.
The first fuel tank is right up in this area here, near the apex of the wing, and it's like a tank car. That whole fuselage was filled with fuel. It starts here, and there are 5 tanks that go clear back to the tail, filled with fuel, and in each wing is 3 fuel tanks and cavities in each wing, so that's 6 there. The total of the whole interior of this consists of about 11 fuel tanks holding, I think, 33,000 gallons of JP7 fuel, jet fuel.
When was the last time they flew one of these?
This one came in here in February of '69, is that correct?
Oh, that was a...
February the 4th of 1969.
So they haven't flown one since then. Did it make a huge boom when it flew?
No, well, certainly on the test program, but they flew it in here at less than supersonic speed.
And then they could control the boom. I mean, when this was at supersonic speed, you said the boom would move in and out. Would it? You still hear a boom?
The shock
yeah.
wave. This whole airplane is really designed to, at the proper angle here, to meet a shock wave at certain speeds, and that's why you got this splitter, that sharp angle. So it fit the shock wave like that, but the pressure moves into the inlet, and you want it captured inside the inlet, but you can't have it go all the way back. If you put the shock wave of 2,000 miles an hour in the front of the jet engines in the back, they'd stop and they wouldn't run. So that's why you had to keep the shock wave out front here. And then another thing, this whole fuselage is designed as a lifting body so that it traps a shock wave underneath of it. The wingtips, for example, at supersonic speeds, they lower the wingtips, and that traps even more of this shock wave underneath of it. So it's a bit like a motorboat or a speedboat. It raises up and rides a shock wave at supersonic speeds, cuts down on the power requirements and a lot of other things. So this is the most fantastic designed airplane in the world as far as I'm concerned.
They just don't use it because it's so huge and it...
Well, the program got killed because of cost. McNamara killed it against General LeMay's position, in spite of General LeMay, I'll put it that way. And you see, by that time, the Russians had probably shot down the U-2 up there, and they were able to shoot higher Russian defense. Then we also had the IBMs, the intercontinental ballistic missiles, and it's back to that story again. Like Jim said, you got the ballistic missiles you're sitting there, and they go do your bombing for you. So we, according to McNamara, we couldn't afford the B-70 program, and we didn't need the B-70 program, so it was canceled.
Well, do they have airplanes that can pass the sound barrier and not make a boom?
No.
So they always make a boom.
You know, when the shuttle landed this morning at about 8:10, it made a boom. The shuttle. Anyway, the sonic boom goes with sonic flight. I guess you view it that way.
He was saying how this is designed so that it rides the sonic boom.
Right.
It's
Really
well
shock
designed.
wave. Also, telling about the big actuators up above the nose wheel at constant speed. And if you don't regulate it properly, it can set up a resonance or a buzz. They call it a buzz because of the high frequency in and out of the shock wave. And that's a bad condition. It screws up the airflow to the engines, and what you see up there, when that comes down 25 degrees for takeoff and landing, but because your CG center weight and you got this long nose sticking out. You put a little surface out here, and you can do all kinds of stability and pitch control by low movements back here, it can't be done with the tail surface because of all the relative drag and everything. So that's the beauty of the long skinny nose out here and the canard wing, that you can regulate pitch, stability. And for takeoff, one example, when this thing takes off, the flaps are down full 25 degrees on the nose. The tail surface is getting sucked into the air duct and wiped out the jet engine, so we had some problems with that.
Do they still use that type of material?
Honeycomb? Well, we've used honeycomb pretty extensively in there. One of the problems on the back over the years, I remember on the F-102 was what pitch, roll, and all of these just a slightest deviation can cause this thing to go this completely because of the high speeds and everything. So flight control of this thing is very critical because at those high speeds, but as I say, with the thin air out there and all of that stuff, it was very critical that they kept control of this, otherwise it tumbled.
Well, there isn't that much control surface on it.
No, well, at this stage, we used hydrogen peroxide or something as a gas, and that was when that thing also, part of the control is by jets like that, because it's beyond the capability of the surfaces.
Oh, this is similar to the one that Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier.
That one right back there,
oh,
that
X1B.
X1B.
Oh, okay. I think so.
Scott Crossfield and Joe Walker and
boy, that looks like
the whole gang that flew this X-15, but I don't think Chuck Yeager ever flew this one.
Well, that Aurora aircraft is supposed to be rumored to be in excess of Mach 6, isn't it? 5 or 6?
Yeah,
like
it's
that thing's
pretty fast. I don't know. It's being the kind of person I am, a lot of the rest of us around here, while we always fantasize about that Project Aurora, we had this fall, and of course Ben's retired from the Skunk Works. And he really took over from Kelly Johnson out there at the Skunk Works.
That's right.
And I've got Ben's been with his autograph on a picture I took here of Kelly Johnson. But of course, these were the leading questions addressed to Ben Rich here in the lady lecture.
He won't talk about that. No, he won't talk about
all these hush-hush projects out there. But it's intriguing. It's like CIA and all this other stuff. This guy was asking Jim about Sweet whatever his name is, writes all these stories. But, you know, it's the Black Plains from the Skunk Works and the hush-hush and the secrets. And all you got to do is put something classified, something secret, and it immediately becomes highly interesting. Exactly.
A friend of mine retired out of the Air Force in Missouri. You still got one underneath the other.
That's right. I took videos of it and went home. What I did, I just made a model of it. The blades are about this long.
The rotor, the blade that's on top.
Yeah.
It's just hard to believe that they don't hit each other.
It's definitely. I don't believe it.
I know. Well, anyway, I built a model of it. This is one about building